Hey everyone, I'm Brandon, the co-founder and CEO of SCALIS, and today I'm going to be walking you through our end-to-end recruiting platform. So the main thing that SCALIS solves for is that legacy solutions require a variety of third-party tools to plug into them in order to facilitate sourcing all the way to offer letter sign. But beyond just being expensive and cumbersome for both employers and candidates alike, the biggest issue here is that there's no feedback loop of data going into the sourcing tools. So when you're sourcing from LinkedIn Recruiter, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, other third-party sourcing tools, as soon as the candidate clicks apply, the sourcing platform has no idea, did they even submit the application? Were they qualified or not? Which round of the interview process did they make it to? What are they scoring on their skills assessment tests? What is the AI interview note taker picking up during the call? If they are rejected, why were they rejected? And are they a silver or bronze medal candidate? If they do get hired, why did they get hired? On and on and on. There's an immense amount of data that lives downstream here that doesn't get passed back into the sourcing platforms. And so that's why there's never any improvement or optimization of the quality of candidates that are being brought into our pipelines. And so what we did with SCALIS is compile the team of 10 former super users of Greenhouse, Ashby, Lever, Team Tailor, and Workable to craft the end-to-end infrastructure required for employers to facilitate sourcing all the way to offer letter sign in one platform. But beyond just being a time and cost savings increase for businesses, we are aggregating the candidate and recruiter data at each step of this process and automatically feeding it back into Bella, our recruiting co-pilot that sits alongside the recruiter throughout the entire journey. So let's dive into the platform. Here's how it works. You have your main job dashboard hub where you can see all of your open roles, tab between pending approval, closed drafts, on hold, and all jobs. You can create a net new requisition. And when you create that, you can copy from a previous one or create a new one altogether. You fill out your details. You can create multiple openings per requisition. Then we'll click next and go into the job description. So you can pull in the job description from your library of templates, or you can generate with AI, bringing in tone, workplace culture, who they report to, skills, any other notes, and some other feature sets here, like including emojis in the description. However you make it to that job description, as soon as I click next here, Bella, the AI agent, is going to automatically extract your ideal candidate profile from that job description. Here you'll see the skills that were pulled out, and then you also have additional candidate preferences. And so she'll use that job description to create this for you, but now you can make tweaks and edits to this if required. And why this is so important is, for one, it's going to factor into the match score that we provide for every single inbound applicant. But these details here, this ideal candidate profile creation, is exactly what Bella needs to actually go and run an outbound search. So beyond just the match score that's going to be provided for every inbound applicant that you receive, Bella has the ability to auto-generate talent pools and auto-generate outreach sequences to a global database of close to 700 million profiles, which you could do manually, but she can also do that automatically in the background, which you can see here just by tagging on the auto-generation of talent pools and the auto-generation of outreach sequences. So where it really all ties together is the match score for these passive candidates. Here you can see Steven, a full match summary on the right-hand side based off of location, experience, skills, industry, other highlights, certificates and licenses, his education, his work experience, and skills and expertise at the top. You can summarize him. You can add him into a talent pool, into an outreach sequence, or into a job listing, and you can discard directly from this view as well, giving that rejection reason, which is going to automatically update this search in real time. Now, Bella can do this in the background for you automatically, or you can do this manually as well, and you can even chat with her to refine or expand the search. But where the real power comes into this is, let's say Michael Flynn, he's a 91% and we source him, and then he makes it into the pipeline. But he gets to the pre-screen stage, and actually we're going to reject him. And this is the rejection reason, and you can even add a medalist designation if applicable and provide additional details. As opposed to that rejection reason just dying here, that data and information automatically passes back around into Bella on the sourcing side of things to update how we handle sourcing for this rec, but all of your requisitions moving forward. And so this self-contained ecosystem enables continuous learning and optimization against literally every recruiter interaction that takes place within the platform, both direct and indirect feedback. Now, if you want to do it manually, you can create your own talent pools as well. You can create shortlisted candidates that you want to stay connected with. You have very robust filtering functionality, close to 50 different data points that you can use to create saved views up at the top. You can rate the candidates. You can add custom labels. You can add a prospect status. You can take notes. And directly from here, you can add them into an outreach sequence or into the sourcing stage of one of your open requisitions. Now, the outreach sequences, again, you can generate this with AI. You could pull in from a requisition. Bella will go ahead and actually create that outreach sequence for you, or you can do it manually. Build out your own steps, add in a step. You can pull in an email template or create one from scratch. Choose if you want to reply to the previous thread or not. Choose the time delay. I could wait 3 days. Send throughout the day to my warm leads first and limit it to 24 a day. I'll add that in, and then you'll get all the analytics on the right-hand side, full sequence analytics up at the top. You can view previous enrollments here. So you can see I was sent the email, I opened it, but I did not respond. And then you can view all the emails that have been sent to me and then update the settings, like who it's coming from and the schedule that it's being sent out at. So I'll hop back into that in a second, but connecting your emails, very straightforward. You can plug in your Google or your Outlook email, and you can add as many as you like. So you can even send on behalf of others or create email aliases. But let's finish up the requisition process. So now that you've defined the skills, you're going to move into the listings. So for the listings, you have the ability to create as many as you like. So if you want to have a listing in New York, a listing in San Francisco, a listing in Paris for maximum job board distribution, you can do that, and you can create custom screening questions for each listing. And you can even generate this listing with AI as well. Pretty much throughout the platform, we've set it up so that you can either do these processes manually, or you can be assisted by Bella to actually do it. So I can pull in the requisition that it's going to create from, choose a listing title, choose if I want to make compensation public, give a communication tone, a workplace type, these other details. You can even ask for screening questions to be created by her, and then you click next. Once you fill out all the details required, and it'll generate the listing for you. Now, we'll let this run in the background while I continue to show you everything else. If you do want to do it manually, you have the ability to actually specify what the listing description is going to be. So you could autofill from the job description, which I don't have anything in there, so it's just going to show test, but this would pull in your job description as you defined it if you had that in there. Then when you're setting up your screening questions, you can pull in from an application form, which will have templated questions that you've already created, or you can create a net new one from scratch. And as you're adding in questions, you name it internally, choose if you want to save it as a template, write in the question for the applicant, and then choose what type of question it is, and then choose if you want that to be a knockout screening question, as well as what the correct or preferred answer is. And then you'd save it. Now, we'll pull in the example form, click next. We'll show you a listing preview. If there were more details in the job, those would show up within here. Next is your pipeline setup. So you have the ability to link a pipeline template, which I'll show you how to do all these things in the company settings towards the end of the video, but you can also do it as you go. So you have 6 parent milestones. You have sourcing, application review, pre-screen, interviews, offer, and hired. You can have as many stages as you like within these parent milestones, but we bucket them all into those top 6 level ones because that makes it so you can still do company-wide reporting and analytics seamlessly, even if you have a variety of different screening processes and pipeline templates that you use across roles. Then, just to show you how to add a stage, you name it, you choose whether it's internal or public. If it's internal only, then candidates will not see it in their dashboard, which I'll show you their dashboard in a second here. If it's public, the candidates will be able to see it. You choose the stage type. Is it a review, a phone screen, an assessment, an interview, a background check, or a reference check? Now, here's what it'll look like as review. You can assign a reviewer. If it's a phone screen, you can bring in an interview template if we had one set up for phone screens. Choose the interview type, if it's a phone call or a video call. pull in your video call provider, which we support Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and Zoom. Then you have scheduling logic. So you can do one-to-one interview, you can do an interview loop, you can do a self-schedule interview or a panel. Let's do one-to-one. So you could add that as a stage. Now you have assessment. So if it's an assessment type and you want to do a take-home, you can provide the file here, or you can provide an external link if you're using a third-party assessment platform. You can assign who the reviewer is as well, and give an expiration date, and if there should be a scorecard template associated with it. Then for interviews, again, you can pull an interview template. You can see here, engineer interviews. Scheduling logic is already one-to-one because I set this up in my settings as this is what the engineer interviews interview template looks like. But you could also create from scratch. I'll choose video call, Google Meet. I'll do an interview loop, and you can add interview segments. So bring in the scorecard template, choose the duration, assign it to an interviewer or to an interview pool, so it'll loop through it, and I'll show you how to set up interview pools momentarily. And then you can add additional segments. You can require a minimum buffer between the interviews, choose if it needs a debrief meeting, and then save as an interview template as well. And then the last two are background checks, which you can pull in your provider here, which we integrate with Checker and a handful of other third-party background check providers, and then reference checks as well. Now, once you have your pipeline set up, or you could just pull in one of your pipeline templates, as I mentioned, pull in pipeline template, it'll pull up automatically. You'll click next, and now it's the hiring team. So this is where you'll add in your hiring team. You have 4 different levels of job-specific permission in addition to the 4 company-wide user permissions you have. So basically 16 different ways that people can or cannot get into the system. And then you choose the primary contact as well. Then I'll click next and publish the listing. So you can click open, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to actually publish it. And you can preview what it will look like. Obviously, you would need to fill out the details so that that shows up there. And then you click complete. Now your job is going to distribute automatically to your LinkedIn job slots, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, and about 37 other different organic feeds that we automatically distribute to. But if you want even more distribution, you can create a new job campaign for that listing. So here's how that process looks. You just click create new campaign. So right here, and then you have close to 3,000 different options that you can sort and filter through. You can filter by job function. So I could filter by engineering. I could filter by industry. I could filter by location. And then you just select which one makes sense for you. Click next. Select a job listing that you want to promote. Click next. And then a Stripe embed will show up here. But since, there you go. Now, once you've distributed the job and you're starting to get inbound applicants, the way that SCALIS handles inbound applicants is significantly different than legacy ATS providers. And that's because when a candidate uploads their resume and clicks next in the application process, as they answer their screening questions, we're pushing their resume through natural language processing to parse out and create a structured data profile for them that gives you this Airtable style interface that you can drag and drop the columns around, add custom fields, choose what shows up in the view, create save views up at the top, and filter and drill down into your candidates with up to 50 different data points, including any custom fields that you add. And so beyond just screening candidates for your knockout screening questions, you can actually filter out the ones that don't match skill criteria, that don't match location criteria, that don't match your minimum average tenure requirement. Anything that is on that resume or application can be easily filtered out. And so you're able to take 1,000 applicants and actually whittle that down to 50 that you start your search with and to review those one by one versus having to review each one by one. And this is in addition to the match score, which you can leverage as well, which again, I showed that the foundation of that is from the ICP, or the ideal candidate profile, that you set up while creating the job requisition. Now, for each candidate, you're going to get a universal profile for them. It'll show you every opportunity they've ever applied to at your organization. You'll have email and phone number, LinkedIn profile linked, match percentage in the top right corner. You can chat with them, advance or reject right from here. as well as all of these other actions. You can view it side by side, so you can take notes. So I can tag other team members, and you can look at resume, screening questions, their activity log, any documents that have been shared. You can upload files for them, scorecard details, which you can view the scorecard here, interviews that have been conducted, offer management, and emails that have gone back and forth. So this is a universal profile that lives with that job seeker forever. So every interaction that they have from you from day 1 to day 10,000, everything is going to get logged here. So the emails, the interviews, the screening questions, on and on and on. And so that's how we're able to really train and refine the match score, because when you go open up a net new requisition, 9 months after filling this one, we're able to tap back into all of those previous applicants in a very intelligent way and actually drop the ones that we think are a good fit for you into the sourcing stage here. We automatically pull those in, and you just have an invite to apply button that you can click to easily reactivate those past applicants. Because if somebody made it to the final round and they were the silver medal candidate and they checked all the boxes and you come back and hire again, why start a net new search every single time? Then from there, you can easily take bulk actions, move them into next stages. So let's say pre-screen, I want to move all of these folks. You have the ability to select the stage that you're going to move them to, set an application status if you want. Some of our clients choose to use this, some of them don't. Choose if you want to notify the candidate or not. When you click notify, it'll pull in whatever the email template was that you set up with the job rec, or you could pull in a different one, or you can create it manually. And then you can choose to send a scheduler link if you didn't already have an interview template assigned to that stage of the pipeline, or you'd select host calendar, who it's assigned to, and the interview length. And it's super easy to schedule within SCALIS. This is modeled off of Modern Loop, Good Time, third-party tools that we used to use when leveraging solutions like Greenhouse, Ashby, and Lever. And so all you have to do is connect your Google or Outlook calendar, choose if you want to use a third-party video tool like Zoom, set your time zone, your availability windows, and your scheduler link rules. And this is what will be pulled from when the candidates are self-scheduling. And because everybody's connecting their calendar, you're actually able to view it in SCALIS as well. So you can easily see your team's week at a glance. So if you're requesting candidate availability to do manual scheduling, you can do that within here. You can toggle off different calendars, different listings, and that will reflect in the calendar here. And since it's bidirectional, if you make updates in the calendar, it'll reflect in SCALIS. If you make updates in SCALIS, it'll reflect in your calendar for both the interviewers and the job seekers. Now, let's say we take somebody all the way to the offer stage. Well, you can even submit and process your offer letters within SCALIS. I can click on Stephanie's profile here, go to Offer Management. You can see one was generated, but it was not sent. I could generate another one. I can create it entirely new, or I can create from an offer template, which I can pull in from my templates in the backend if I had any. Now, here's how you actually set up a template. So I click Create Template, choose the template name, document type, NDA, offer, or other. I can choose offer. I can set conditional logic in terms of if it only shows for certain departments, appointment types, pay types, or offices. And then I have close to 50 different tokens that I can automatically pull in. But if for some reason there aren't tokens in there that I need, we support custom fields for offers, profiles, application fields, and job fields. So in offer fields, I could create a custom field, name it, configure the field, choose if it's required or not, choose if it triggers a new offer version if modified, generate a system token. You can preview it here, and you can even add field conditions. So if it only shows up for certain departments, employment types, pay types, or offices. So that is most of sourcing to offer letter sign. But now I want to show you the other components of the platform that go into the end-to-end solution, and then also how you can set up a lot of the stuff in your settings, which we handle as a part of our white glove migration into the SCALIS platform. Our in-house team of recruiting ops experts actually takes the exported data from your current solution and works on mapping that into SCALIS properly, moving over not just your candidates, but all of your open requisitions, your existing workflows, your interview templates, your scorecards, et cetera, so that SCALIS is fully set up and running for you. But just to touch on some of these things. So we also have a task and reminders hub. You probably saw throughout some of the other screens of the platform I was showing that in various parts of it, you'll see a create task here. So I can create a task, assign it, whether it's to myself or to another team member, and you can link it to job or link it to a candidate as well. So you're able to easily keep track of your to-dos within the SCALIS platform. And you can create tasks in here as well. Beyond that, you have your talent database. So every past applicant is going to flow into this talent database with all of the details of any application they've ever submitted to your organization, any email touch point, et cetera, et cetera. In here, you can use the same filtering logic to create manual views of your past applicants if you want to go beyond the past applicants that Bella is already going to be automatically recommending you. Because remember, when you open up a new job, we're going to actively comb through your past applicant database to recommend ones to you. But you could also come in here and say, oh, I want to look at everyone who has, let's say JavaScript experience. I had to click save. Then what I can do from here is I can save that as a new view. I would name the view JavaScript prospects, choose who I want to share it with, save it, and now I have this tab up at the top that I can automatically reaccess. So again, you can let Bella do this, and then you could go even a step further and create your own save tabs up here to slice and dice your past applicants how you see best fit. Next, you have your analytics. So we have 9 out-of-the-box dashboards, and you can create as many custom dashboards as you want. But essentially what the dashboards are made up of individual widgets. And all of the data that you see in a pipeline, in the open requisition, can be used in your reporting analytics, but also for filtering. And you're able to automatically schedule these and download these as PDF reports. Then we have reporting, which we have, again, 9 out-of-the-box ones here. You can create as many custom ones as you like. And our customer service team actually supports and facilitates custom report and dashboard building as well, if that's something you want to tap into. The only difference between analytics and reports, analytics are going to be these dashboard style views that you bring in additional widgets to customize. And then reports are going to be CSV based. Both are able to be filtered, and both are able to be scheduled out on some sort of recurring basis at a certain time to certain stakeholders. Then we have referrals. So every employee can be shared this link here, and all they have to do is drop in a LinkedIn profile or an email address and a resume, submit, and then all of your referrals will be tracked through here. And through that link, they can even see the status of their referral within the platform as well. So very seamless for them to be able to leverage that and not to have to ask you and bother you about where their referral is in the process as well. Now, let's get into some of the setting stuff. So you have your general details, company logo, company name, changing your workspace URL, some of those details. Then you can set up different offices. When you're adding in an office, this allows you, when you're creating new job requisitions, to assign them to an office. And then also when you're building out some of the offer templates, document templates, you can select if they're only applicable for some offices. So this is very useful when provisioning inside of an account, and then also for departments as well, which you can use for pipeline templates, interview templates, etc. Then you have user management. So you have user groups. So if you want to give a certain group the exact same type of access, you can do that here. And you can do individually as well. So I can invite a new user, choose if they're a super admin, member, or guest. And then again, remember, you have 4 different ways to add somebody into a job requisition as well. So if they're a member or guest, when they go into their job dashboard, they're not going to see anything unless you assign them into one of the job requisitions. Basically 16 different ways, 4 here at the org level, and then 4 at the job level of types of permissions that you can invite. Then you have your global listing setup. So if you want to have an about company statement and a footer statement on each job, and you can set up global screening questions as well if you want certain screening questions to appear across all job listings. So you just add a question. Again, choose if it's a knockout screening question or not. and then you'd save it, and then this is going to show up on every single job within SCALIS. And then last but not least is just your career page setup. So you can drop it in with an embedded iframe on your website, or you also have your own hosted careers page that we generate for you. And then if you want to get really creative, you can actually pull it in via API into your site as well. Then for interviews and scheduling, we have interview pools and interview templates. So interview pools gives you the ability to add in, let's say, 5 different people into an interview process, and we're going to loop through which one of them is doing the interview based off of that criteria. So here you can see one that's been set up. We could edit it, add skill tags, choose certain departments, and then we can change who is actually a part of that as well. So I can do test, let's do finance and accounting. You can enable load balancing, so max daily interviews, max weekly interviews. You can create that, and then you add in your members. Then you have interview templates, so I can create an interview template here. Name the template. Choose what stage type. Is it a phone screen or an interview? We'll choose interview. Say it's a video call. Pull in the video call provider. And then you choose your scheduling logic. So it's a one-to-one interview loop, self-schedule interview, or a panel. If it's a one-to-one, you'd select the duration, pull in a scorecard template, choose the interview pool or the interviewer. So I'll just choose myself here. And you can even enable auto replace with alternate, which you can pull in a pool or an individual in the case that person is not available. Now, if it's an interview loop, this is where you add in your interview segments. So it could be, a take-home assignment review, and on and on and on. You can keep on adding interview segments. You can require a buffer time between them. Choose if it needs a debrief meeting, and then a minimum buffer duration. And again, you can pull in interview pools, or you can pull in individual interviewers, and then bring in a scorecard template for each of them. Then you'd create, and now you have that template name, which you can pull in when you're creating your job requisition. Next, you have pipeline templates. So here's where you'll build out your templates that you can pull in automatically in the job rec creation process. Add a stage, choose the stage type. Again, if you have an interview template, you don't actually have to do this manually. You can just pull in that interview template, and then you'll see it actually show up here right away. Then you have scorecard templates. You can create a new one, or you can copy from an existing one. And you have 6 different types of questions you can ask. Checkboxes, date for your response, multiple choice, numerical, yes or no. Bella sits in on the interviews with the interviewer to autofill the scorecards, but also to provide a full summarization and a full transcript of that interview, so that all the hiring managers have to do at the end of a interview process is actually rate the candidate 1 to 5. Just press submit, and then you can easily do candidate comparisons towards the end of a process by just comparing scorecards against one another. So here you can see the different breakdowns. Let's hop back here. Then you have email templates, so you can set up personal email templates or company templates. It's very straightforward. Create your template, choose the template type, and then it'll be available for you when you're building on anything that has to do with emails. Then you have system status setups. So application statuses, you can create custom statuses, or task and reminder statuses as well. So you can create statuses and color code them. Then you have your screening setup. So these are those application forms that you saw when I was actually building the job requisition. You can pull in your template screening questions into your application forms. So I could create a new question, test. Let's say greater than 5, auto reject the candidate, pull in default message, save it. Now in the application forms, I can create a new one, assign it to a department, add in my questions. These 4 are coming in from the templates, or I can just edit this one. And you can see I'm adding questions. I'm going to add this other one in there. Click add. And now when I'm building the requisition and creating the listing screening questions, as opposed to me having to create these every single time, I just pull in the application form. This is your sequence setup. So this is just creating schedules for how you actually handle the outbound sending. So we have your out of the box Monday through Sunday, 9 to 5, or Monday through Friday rather, but you can build your own scheduling logic. And then you have custom candidate labels as well. Now, that is pretty much all of SCALIS, from sourcing to offer letter signed. The last couple of things are candidate sources. So you can create source categories, create sources here, because we are able to track any sort of source from an inbound application standpoint. And then within a profile, you have the ability to add touch points. So if I were to go to here, see activity log, you can add a touch point, choose the interaction type. So you can pull in different sources here as well. But in the details, you'll see the custom fields and then the source information as well, if available. And then last but not least is the SCALIS sourcing connector. So this sits alongside you in LinkedIn and other websites like GitHub, where you can add candidates directly into SCALIS. It'll tell you whether or not they already exist within SCALIS, and then you can just import them seamlessly into the platform. Now, the only other thing to show you is the candidate view. So this is what the candidate will see on their end once they've submitted application. They have their full profile. This is all the data and details that was parsed out automatically from their resume. They can create different job search preferences as well. They track their applications with you within their own dashboard. When they click into one of the jobs, they can see all their interviews. They can request reschedules. They can see where they're at in the status. Now you see they only have 3 here. That's because some of the pipeline stages are set as internal only. They can contact you if you've contacted them before within SCALIS. They can upload files that they want to share with you. They can even take their own notes on the position as well. And then they have their messaging hub and then the full job board that they have access to after they've been rejected. So that's it. SCALIS end-to-end. Main focus for us is on the aggregation of data at each step of the process, because we've created the only environment where a system can learn and train off of every single recruiter and candidate interaction within the platform, from skills assessments to interview notes to scorecard data to rejection feedback, on and on and on. All of that is continually training Bella and enabling her to make smarter decisions and help within the system. And from a security standpoint, we're SOC 2 verified, GDPR, all of that was baked into the platform from day one, because we're built by a team of super user advisors who have spent the last 100+ years in the recruiting and people ops space. And that is an extremely important focus for us, in addition to allowing AI to be an assistant, not a replacement. And that has a lot to do with the privacy and compliance concerns with all of the new AI regulations that are coming out. And that's why when you're using the system, you'll see that AI is there to augment, not replace at every step. And even things like the match score, as an example for your inbound applicants. So let's see if I can find that screen again. You are not allowed to create automatic rejections on the match score. You can filter by it manually, but you cannot do auto rejections based off of the match score. So we regularly run third-party AI audits as well to make sure that at every stage of the process in the system that Bella is supporting, we're checking off that no bias is creeping into that process. But more importantly, you have the ability to turn Bella off or on in any stage of this process that you like. And you saw as we are demoing through, in pretty much every instance where you can do an action manually, you also have the ability to allow AI to generate or make suggestions for you. So that's SCALIS in a nutshell. Hope you found this useful. If you have any other questions, please reach out. Happy to set you up with a demo account, walk you through what this process would look like and how we've been able to facilitate so many migrations from legacy platforms, throw out a variety of different third-party tools, and consolidate everything into one system. But this is our typical old state into new state. Usually you're going to be using anywhere between 2 to 7 different tools to facilitate from sourcing to offer letter sign. You combine everything into SCALIS, saving on average anywhere between 50 to 93% at the high end, and being able to cut down significantly on your sourcing spend as well. Thanks for watching.